Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode we'll be taking a look at the Moto 360 Sport. Now Ty here would much rather me review Blue Wilderness chicken and salmon recipe treats. Is that what you want? We can see if that tastes good or not. Does that taste good? What do you think? Should we give that a 10 out of 10? Huh? Take my finger off. Alright, we can't review this today. We have to review something that the folks there at YouTube want to review, okay? So, anyway, this is a sport watch. It's, you know, you have your normal Android Wear type watches. A lot of them, number one, don't have GPS. And number two, don't have a really good band, like when you're sweating and everything, which this does. It's sort of sweat resistant. It's silicone, so it can stand, and it's very comfortable. I mean, you can put this thing on tight, and it's very, very soft, flexible, feels good. Number three is this thing can do heart rate. Let's go ahead and I want to show you the sensor on the back of this on how it does it. So we'll go ahead and kick it off, and you can sort of see that thing trying to scan and do a heart rate. So you just pop it on there and it can measure just like all the other fitness bands. And the last standout feature on this guy, which is probably the most important one, is it has a hybrid type screen. So I don't know how familiar you are with Android Wear and the Apple Watch and all these different watches, but when you go outside, usually at least in direct sun, it might be very hard to see the screen. Well, this is a hybrid screen, so behind this Corning Gorilla Glass, it looks like a normal screen, don't it? Well, when it goes into this mode that you see right now, it's actually reflecting the light, like just like a normal black and white LCD screen. And what that enables you to do is see it crystal clear in direct sunlight. This is the box that it came in. Let's take a look at the bottom. Interesting packaging. Lots of plastic and stuff. Now, of course, the watch is already out. It also came with a charging cradle, which I don't have the original charging cradle that came with this particular one. The difference is, because this is for an older Motorola 360 Generation 1, the difference is there's like two ribs down here on the one that actually came in this case, so I apologize that I don't have it, but they work similar. It's good to know that if you do have an original Motorola 360 that it will work as far as charging. The way it works is it's inductive charging, so there's like coils in here, and there are coils in here that pick it up and charge the battery. So when you place it in the charger, it will come up with a special face, like a dock type display, where it's going to show you the day and time. Now you can't see it now because it went to the hybrid mode, but if I reflect light off it, see that? I can make it come back to life. And you could change the colors, like if you don't like the blue going on here, you could go into the app on your cell phone and, you know, tweak all kinds of different things. Now I went ahead and put a link below for Amazon, because this one's mine. I bought it. No one sent this to me. No one's paying me to do it. This is just my review on some fitness gear, because I am getting fit. I've lost 10 pounds this month and about 30 pounds this year. But I'm reviewing this Samsung Gear Fit 2 also, which you'll see in a later video. And I've been doing a lot of comparison. This is actually not fair because this is not the default screen. I should put the default screen on there when I show this, so you can sort of see out of box experience. There we go. This guy comes in all different colors too. This guy, the one we're doing the reviews on, you can see you get those, by the way, you get those Gear, Android Gear cards that come up. So anyway, comes in different colors. This is the black, which they're currently sold out on Amazon, but while you're watching this video, whatever time it may be, they might come back in stock. They also have the orange, which if I came across at the time when I was buying this, I probably would have bought the orange. And it also comes in white. Now, the color is like all around here, and the band, it's permanently attached, unlike a lot of other watches, unlike a lot of other Gen 1 and Gen 2 360s. This one is permanent, but because it's that really tough, thick silicone, it'll definitely stand up for the entire life of the watch. I've been wearing this for over a month, and I'm not seeing a problem at all. I mean, there is no wear whatsoever, and it feels extremely comfortable. This could be a long review because I am getting into a lot of detail here. There is a downside to this black one. I'll let you take a close look. As with most black silicone things like this, picks up a lot of dirt. So you get a lot of dirt and dust and everything. There are some tricks to help reduce that. Most of them don't work. So, the difference between this guy and the other the latest generation Motorola 360, that's the big deal. You know, why you want this over that one is price, because this is running only $140. Again, link is in the description box below. That's a huge deal. You also get this special watch face, which is geared toward sports, and the extra software they put on here, which is Motorola's fitness application, which there's a counterpart on the cell phone that transfers the data back and forth via Bluetooth. You also have Wi-Fi in here, but another big difference is that hybrid screen I was talking about. Now, you notice how it cuts off really quick as I'm talking is because I set it like that so it doesn't eat up the battery. And again, this one has GPS, where the Motorola 360 Gen 1 and Gen 2 do not have built-in GPS, so it has to rely on your cell phone when you're doing, you know, distance-related things. So if you want to get, you know, not carry this cell phone around while you're doing whatever fitness thing you're doing, bicycle riding, running, walking, whatnot, you could do it with this guy because it has GPS. And that's why I'm sort of going to be doing a comparison review between these two, because they both have that GPS built in. Now, there's a couple of things that make this watch tick. You got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 with a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core CPU. And it also has a Adreno 305 with 150 megahertz graphics processing unit. It has 4 gigs of internal storage plus 512 megs of RAM. Again, you have the, as far as connectivity, you have the low energy Bluetooth 4.0, and you have Wi-Fi B and G. So why do you have that? Well, Wi-Fi has a longer range, so if you're at home, you could actually go in to the Wi-Fi settings. Pretty easy to use, just like any Android Wear watch. You can just go into your Wi-Fi settings and just pair it with your Wi-Fi at home. You could also, of course, pair it via Bluetooth to your cell phone. And we're going to talk about some of the apps that I have here. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to say it again. Sensors. This thing is jam-packed with sensors. You have a barometer, altimeter, accelerometers, ambient light sensor. This little dot right there when I get it to reflect right. See on the bottom there? Because you have that typical Motorola flat tire display, which you really can't see here, but if I select a different watch face, which we'll go ahead and do. Let's see. Whoops. Inadvertently, there we go. Alright, let's select my favorite one, which is this Morph one. You can see that flat tire on the bottom. This is my favorite watch face, by the way, Morph. Let's see. You also get Gyroscope. This vibrates. It doesn't actually make any sounds, but it does vibrate, so you could set alerts, alarms, or whatever, and it'll vibrate, which is kind of cool because let's say you're in bed and with your significant other sleeping, and you could set an alarm that'll just wake yourself up because it'll vibrate on your arm. And it has a Haptics engine, whatever the hell that is. Alright, you got the heart rate sensor, which we talked about on the back, so it can measure your beats per minute while you're working out or just when you just on demand. This has 2 microphones, so you could say, "Okay Google, what time is it?" And it does all that just like any Android Wear watch. Kind of cool. You have oh, now here's one big criticism, at least as far as reviews are concerned. This thing was marketed as sort of being waterproof initially, up to like 3 feet of water or something like that. And after many reviews, they said, it's not waterproof. It's breaking the watch. So now I noticed that on the Motorola site and other sites, they're saying it is not waterproof. They're listing it as IP67 dust and water resistant. I've ran with this or walked with this in the rain, got water on it, stuff like that. It's fine. So splashing, rain, dust, dirt, that's what it's resistant to. Battery life. Well, you have a 300 milliamp hour battery in this guy, and that's okay. Let's just put it like that. What I have here at home, I have a charger and I have a charger at work. When you use this, and if you use it a lot with that GPS running, it can get through that battery in less than a day. But if you just, use it normally, like a sports watch, you do your whatever workout during the day, and you see your alerts and you check your time and not get too intense with it, it is going to last the full day. So it all depends on use and how you configure it. Like I have a full display. When this goes to sleep, the screensaver, I have it where it goes into the full ambient mode. So right now, this is, you notice if I block the light, you can't see it. See how, because it's reflecting, so it's that hybrid display. When you're utilizing it like that, so I have it where it does that, it's going to use up a little more than if I go to the partial ambient display, where it's just going to show the time in this case and not this other data. It all depends on how you configure it. Or you could have it totally black out, and then it's really going to save a lot of energy. I decided to go with the full ambient, which is probably the worst as far as battery life, because I have a charger both here and at work, and I use this between the two. However, normal use, it'll last all day. Once when it's new and you're going to play with it and everything, you'll probably run through the battery a bit. But then when you start using it like a normal person, it will last through the whole day. That's my assessment on the battery life in a nutshell. We already talked about the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. We already talked about the charger. It's here's a good one. Like, you notice how the Apple Watch only works with Apple products, and then there's other products where that only works with Android. This will work with both Android and iOS, which is kind of cool. So that is essentially everything as far as the watch itself is concerned. Again, it's like a normal Android Wear watch. We could, to change screens, you could press and hold it just like that, and you could go through and change your watch faces. I've actually downloaded and purchased all kinds of watch faces. And another one of my favorite as far as there's one called Running that looks like a studio clock. I like this one right here. Kind of cool, and I always pick these because it shows the amount of steps and the beats per minute, battery life, your phone battery life, what time it is, the temperature outside, weather. And each one of these watch faces have different features. Like this one, I could hit the weather, it gives me the weather. I could go back to that other one. And this one, Morphe, and I could hit that temperature and it'll bring up a whole different kind of weather thing. There we go. Pretty cool, huh? So it does all the... No, I'm not going to get into the specifics on how this all works. Fitness. Now, fitness-wise, I'm sticking to Google Fit. I know Motorola has all their fitness stuff in here in their own ecosystem, but I found sticking with Google Fit, which the app also installs on here, I could do more. It's more geared to the way that I live and do everything. That's how many steps I took today. And let's say I'm going to go out and walk. I can, hit that bottom part there and click on walk and start walking and do my thing. It could be raining a little bit, no problem. And when I'm all done, hit stop or pause and then stop, and then I could read the results right there. And it's easy to see in sunlight or daylight, no problem, because of the hybrid display. You could go to all your programs and settings by, just swiping over. You could see you have your Google Fit app. In this case, let's say I want to look at all my statistics. Bring up that same screen that watch face brought up. There's everything I did today. I could do an on-demand heart rate. I could do it using the Motorola program, or I could do it using the Google Fit program. Real easy to do. I'll show you how that works. This would be strapped to my thing here. It's measuring using that little light thing on the back. And there it is. I'm very excited to be here, so I have a beat of 80 per minute. Let's see. And I've installed some custom apps on here too. And again, you saw how it did the Google, where I could say OK Google and it does its thing. You could operate iHeartRadio. It all depends on the apps you have on your phone. It will install the counterpart onto the watch. That's basic Android Gear stuff. You have the Motorola fitness apps, which again I don't use because I prefer the Google Fit. And that's Ty complaining. Together function. This is kind of cool. Because together is, you're doing fitness. Let's say you get your significant other to do fitness, then you can sort of do it together, pair up. And that's a good thing because you can encourage each other, help each other along, things like that. By the way, this could change all different colors. This Morphe thing, face that I downloaded, cost like $1 or $2. And this thing could actually wave and move, and you could change all the colors and all that. I just like this face because it's easy to see in both ambient and the normal display. It's really cool. So Google Fit, what I like about it, let me bring it up here on my phone. Has all kinds of things where I walk the maps. I didn't want to show the specifics, so I sort of zeroed it out, but really cool. And what I really like about it, I'm going to sort of bring this away a bit. You know what? What I like about Google Fit is it can work with MyFitnessPal. A lot of people who are working out are probably pretty familiar with MyFitnessPal. And it gets the steps from Google Fit right there. So from the watch to Google Fit to MyFitnessPal. And then I could see, like I set my goal of 1,500 steps. There's how much I ate. There's how many calories I gained from exercising. And that's what I have remaining today to eat. So I basically monitor my input, my output through fitness, and I can gauge how much I could eat that day based on my fitness, and that's how I'm losing so much weight. So like if you go back a year and look at my face in videos, you'll see I have a pretty fat face compared to now. As a matter of fact, I had a commenter that called me a fat face. Thank you very much. So I really like this watch, and I'm really having a hard time trying to figure out which one I like. But right now, this guy is running cheaper by as much as at least $20 to $40 cheaper than the Gear Fit 2. And if you're trying to decide between these two, because these two are the cheapest ones in the US that have the GPS built in, that have, you know, crazy amounts of functionality. Between the two, this guy here is cheaper, and it's Android Gear, where Samsung is more proprietary. You can't like put all the normal from the Android store apps onto here. You only can put special Samsung ones on there and special Samsung face. But this guy has advantages too, which we'll talk about when I review this guy or girl or whatever it is. See, it has the same heart rate sensor on the back as GPS. This one has longer battery life, by the way. But it gets notifications. This gets notifications just like any Android watch. You get those cards that come up. You could control what notifications get sent. Really, really cool watch. I really like it a lot. Been using it for over a month, and it has been really good. So this video wasn't meant to get into an enormous amount of details about the watch. It's just me wanting to share my experience with this watch, and I was kind of excited that it's $140, which is a lot cheaper, hundreds of dollars cheaper, at least $100 cheaper, if not more, than when it first came out. So if you're starting to shop for the holidays, looking for a really neat gift, and you got to keep in mind that after the holidays is the new year, and then you got the new year resolution, and then half the people are going to say, I want to lose weight. Of course, after the holidays and you stuff yourself. This could be a pretty neat gift for somebody, and they would probably say, wow, you spent a lot of money on it, when in fact you got it cheaper because it's selling for only $140. And it's also a great gift for everybody in the family, and you can do that together thing and sort of share in the experience, because losing weight by yourself is very difficult. When you have all the other people around you all sharing in the fun, the experience, it makes it easier. You're all sharing the pain, you're all helping each other out, you're supporting each other. It makes it easier, it makes it a little more fun. And for me, gear like this helps me get fit because it's technology. I obsess over those things, so if I can make it an obsession, the fitness thing, it helps me succeed. And so far I've been doing pretty good. See? Face is not as fat. I recommend it. I recommend it a lot, as long as you know the shortcomings. Battery life, Get an extra dock. They don't cost that much. You can find aftermarket ones for a couple of bucks. Band is on there for the life of the watch. Fortunately, it's very, very well made. I guess if your cat chews it off, you're screwed. And it is kind of soft. Could make a good chew toy. But if you use it like you're supposed to use it, it will definitely outlast the watch itself. I have no doubt. It's very, very well made. Silicone, very thick, very, very comfortable, able to handle the sweat and water and everything. It's very flexible, pliable. Black, you're going to get that dirt and dust like you do normally, just so you know. And I think that's all the cons. I'll tell you, I think that's about it. I love this watch. Right now I'm wearing these equally. I don't know at this point which one I'm going to end up with. I honestly do not know yet. I'm still weighing the pros and cons because they each have their pros and cons. But recommend it. So the link is below. Black is currently sold out. I'm sure they're restocking. The orange and the white are available now. I quite honestly, because the dust and dirt, and if you're anal attentive, I would go with one of those two anyway. So, by the way, the mics that do the OK Google, there's two on here. Watch. OK Google. I'll make myself a liar. OK Google. Who is the Gear Obsession channel? Alright. Oh, look at that. It put my logo in the back there. It wants me to open it up on the phone. See, it says, so if I hit this, it's going to open up my channel on my cell phone. It's cool. Okay, Google. What time is it? Alright, so this button right here always takes you back to the home screen, by the way. I think if you swipe one way, if you have notifications, again, I'm not going to get into that. Too long a video. Alright. Thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. Where is that little critter? Come over here, Ty. Come on. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, my back, my back. My back. My back. Alright, there we go. Alright, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I greatly appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day or evening. Take care. Say bye. Bye-bye.